And now, through the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future, Transformers Slag Podcast. What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? It's a crazy one. Somewhere on the other side of this country, well, not this country, but another country, a convention is happening and I ain't there. Man, oh man, how the mighty have fallen. I have not missed a TFcon or a BotCon since 2001. And then the big V just came and ruined that. So I am not there. So you're stuck with me here. And I apologize for that. And if you don't know who I am, my name's Proto Man. This is the face that runs this crazy place. And this is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream main event. How y'all doing? Nice to see you. A lot of green today. A lot of YouTube members tuning in. Some of you guys are supposed to be at TFcon right now. Why are you watching this piece of garbage? But thank you all for tuning in and enjoying what we do here today. Not a lot of news this week, so we're going to cover a light amount of news, just some little updates here and there. We have a P.O. Box opening for Mikey and Louie. We have a giveaway that we're going to do for the patron and YouTube members of the channel. We're going to do a little bit of discussion. I got something in the mail also, which isn't really Transformer related, but it's kind of cool. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. It was a project that's been going on for about a year and a half now, and finally I got the book. So that's pretty cool. It's not TF related, but it's still pretty cool for some video game collectors. And then we'll just take some super chats. If you want to participate, either be a YouTube member or super chat away. And we'll just enjoy the rest of the evening. Shall we? Shall we? Wow, there's a lot of people today regardless. I am surprised. Considering how it is TFcon weekend. Actually, our giveaway is TFcon related in a small sense, too. So let's start. We talked about this last week a little bit, just a little bit. But it's a little update in relation to our talk about the Earthspark Deluxe classes that we're going to be getting. So like I said last week, the Sydney Oz Comic Con 2022, they had a whole bunch of Earthspark items that were on display, primarily mint and package stuff, to really show how the packaging is going to look and how this product is going to appear when it shows up in stores. The retail announcement date is supposedly January of 2023, but let's be real here. Historically, whenever street dates held, they always get broken with Transformers. So I've never seen it go up to a street date or past it. Never, ever, ever, ever. I remember Animated, just to go off on a tangent, Animated was supposed to come out in, I think it was like August of 2008, and then the weekend of BotCon, which I believe was April of 2008. Correct me if I'm wrong. All these BotCons kind of merged together. I remember it was like April or May in 2008. They all just showed up like half a year early. So these street dates, whatever, they say January 2023. I'm pretty sure you guys will probably see it before Christmas. But these deluxes are going to be showing up at some point. And the big thing is that they blocked out. Here, let me just switch it up here so you can see better. They blocked out the other deluxes because supposedly they're, big reveals or something. Now, granted, one of them is a character we already know what the character model looks like. Number 4, according to people that were on the floor, is Optimus Prime. So, I mean, we know what Optimus looks like. Unless there's some kind of dynamic change from what we've seen in all those trailers and teasers and everything, I mean, that's not a biggie. But the other ones were Shockwave for number 5, number 6 was Grimlock, and number 7 was a character named Nightshade. Now, my assumption was Nightshade might be a seeker jet. Some people are telling me otherwise. They're saying, no, it's not a seeker jet. Nova Storm is that other seeker jet that you're seeing in the trailer. This is something else. I don't see any official information that say otherwise. So I'm just going on my gut here. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens, but there's no major updates right now, but these items are going to be showing up very soon. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of online retailers that probably are already getting their early cases with the warning on them to not break the street dates. But we'll see what happens with that. The only other thing I just wanted to also bring up again also is our Build-A-Figure, how there's that extra arm there. The number 5 piece that supposedly, I guess number 5 is going to come with I guess number 5 is going to come with Shockwave. Looks like a Bumblebee arm almost. Um, but yeah, he's going to have extra pieces, swappable. Comes with different robo arms and everything for your Dr. Meridian Mandroid. So we'll see what happens with that. But just a little bit of an update from last we talked about it. Just some little things here and there, some newer images, some clearer images, and stuff like that. Next up was the Hasbro Pulse Q&A fan roundtable. And it was Mark, it was Evan, it was Ben, and the new addition to the Studio Series marketing team of Delaney. She originally worked on Nerf and some of the other brands. I know she did Star Wars and Marvel at one point too. And not much in terms of big announcements were there. It was more just fielding questions from the fans of just like, hey, is there anything that interests you? Is there anything that seems kind of cool? Oh, and it looks like Andy Davis has gifted a membership to somebody. Thank you, Andy, for gifting a membership to someone.
Megatron must be stopped. No
It looks like
the
it's
cost.
AI Dragon Legend that got the membership. Welcome to the YouTube membership, AI Dragon. Looks like you're going to also be able to get in on that giveaway. But yeah, so it's something where, you know, I did a separate segment on it a couple days ago. Um, and I went deep into it. There really wasn't a lot of new information, just more clarification of business related stuff. Nothing too major. I think the big takeaway from it, more than anything else, was just the realization of how many extra heads are now present on a lot of these current products when they're made. Meaning, we get a brand new mold, like let's say a blaster, and there's 3 other head sculpts already planned from the get go put on there. So that's probably the only big realization, because I remember back in the day, like it was 1 at most. There'd be like 1 alternate head on there. To hear that it's now like 3 alternate heads, that's crazy. That's like some major long distance planning when you get a mold. Think about it, like you get something like that Bumblebee, the Origins Bumblebee that turns into that flying saucer, like Cybertronian Bumblebee design from War Meets the Eye Parts 1. You're trying to tell me there's 3 different heads on there? So you're trying to tell me there's probably a cliff jumper head on there. There's probably, I don't know, tap out, glyph, bumper. Like what other heads are on there? Was the Cosmos head already on there? Who knows? But that's some pretty crazy stuff when you think about it. So I covered that individual segment. If you want to hear more of my voice talking about it, I believe it was like a 20-minute talk I did on that one. Um, it's a lot more visual. I break it down. I try to make sense of everything they're saying because, they try to simplify things because they know that a lot of the fans don't understand the toy industry. And my job is kind of help you guys understand what's going on in the toy industry. So I kind of break down what they're trying to say and little things like that. So be sure to check out that segment. But otherwise, the bigger thing is coming up this week is going to be the Pulse Premium stream, which is going to be October 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which that I do find weird. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 5 p.m. I don't think we've ever had a live stream that started at 5 p.m. But whatever, sure, it's going to be a late one. That means I'm going to watch it. Then I'm going to have to put out a segment extremely late and edit it all together. But sure, whatevs. 5 p.m. I guess maybe everyone couldn't make it otherwise for that. It probably has to be everyone together, so they could only settle on 5 p.m. just before having supper and dinner for people, I guess. So that's that more or less. If you want to check out my individual segment, it's in the archive. It's a couple of days ago I posted it, so it should be pretty interesting. Let's talk about ridiculously expensive Transformers. I've given my 2 cents about the Robosen Optimus. I felt that, hey, no hate to you. If you enjoy it, if you're having a good time, if you think it's fun, hey, good on you. But my stance is more like the price of how much it costs and then the longevity of it and its importance. And now Robosen, no surprise, because keep in mind, guys, Robosen is a licensor third party company. It is not Hasbro. It is a company that license out the Transformers brand. They are going to milk this to no end. They are going to milk it to no end. Just the actual original Optimus, the one on the left there, which was 48 centimeters, which is about 19 inches. Um, that thing was like $999. And as someone that's been in the Transformer world for a very long time, do you know what $999 gets you? Anything. HasLab Unicron. Anything. It's nuts. And something like this, which is cell phone connected, meaning like to really maximize what you could get out of this figure, it's related to a cell phone. Imagine 10 years from now trying to sell this when the app doesn't exist anymore, and you'd have to sell it with a cell phone that probably still has the app on it. Hopefully, the app doesn't require the internet to function too. Like, it's going to be something that's going to be very weird in the secondary market that is going to be kind of castrated. But in all honesty, in 10 years from now, no one's going to care about this thing. And now they've announced, to milk it even more, their Elite Edition on the right. So what is the Elite Edition? Pretty much the exact same thing, except now it's 41 centimeters or 16 inches for us. And yeah, slightly smaller. And now it's $699. So you save 300 bucks and I don't know, you save 300 bucks and you lose 3 inches. Giggity. Sounds like it's I'm pretty sure people are just lining up for this one. And what's confusing about it is they have a trailer. Is the trailer going to be this, like, work size-wise with the differences between the two? Is one going to look more funky with the other now that they've put out that trailer? I find it very bizarre, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, it's made for a specific market of people, and I mean, it comes with all the same stuff. You get all the same things, just smaller, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, again, no hate, no hate. This is the specs, by the way, of what's different. So while I talk, you could read over some of the specs. Nothing too major. Just it's lighter. There's less pieces here and there. The charging time is less because it's a smaller battery. All the basics pretty. But look, hey, if you're enjoying it, if it's fun for you, that's cool. Again, I kind of equate it to back in 2007 when they had the Ultimate Bumblebee figure. I remember when Ultimate Bumblebee came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool. It's like a Bumblebee in the kind of the vein of what we got of Robo Sapien, and it transforms and everything. And but mind you, have to manually transform it, and it talks to you, and it reacts, and it shoots missiles, and it was this fun thing, but it was also like $100. So a lot of people were kind of turned off by it. And even me, I was like, look, if you have fun with it, that's fine. But at the same time, I don't see it from an investment kind of thing, and especially a long-term kind of thing. 10 years from now, you're going to change your phone. That app might not even be on there anymore. And there's going to be a situation where it's going to be very hard to get the full experience in the future. It's kind of like I remember back in the day, there was a lot of Nintendo DS games that were kind of online only games. I know there was a Mortal Kombat online DS game. And now you plug these games into an old DS all these years later, and they don't function anymore. They just serve no purpose. The servers don't exist. You can't download the information. So I feel like it's going to kind of end up like that, where it's just going to be this, some of the functions still will work, but at the end, the block of it will be kind of wasted. But that's just my take on that. Hey, if you're enjoying it, congrats. I mean, look, I got Ultimate Bumblebee. Mind you, I got Ultimate Bumblebee for like nothing because it came out, it was $100. Then it was like in Costco at one point, and then after Costco, because I always say when it's in Costco, speaking of which, probably should pull out my phone here too, because there was a new item in Costco. But when it's in Costco, oh, we got a new member. Princeton Phalanx 59. He's a member now. Thank you for being a member, Princeton. And what does he say here? What do you think Hasbro will reveal this Thursday? Well, I mean, in all honesty, I really hope at this point, that they're going to start talking about Rise of the Beast stuff, or the smart thing would be Earthspark stuff. I know we're going to probably get some Legacy Evolution. We'll probably get some Studio Series. They said that there's going to be a lot of big reveals, but in all honesty, as much as I'd love to get more of that Legacy Evolution and Studio Series stuff, from a business standpoint and longevity, and their stocks are down, you know, you really need to pump up some of that media related stuff. That's the stuff that's really going to move the needle. You know, showing us the latest Legacy Evolution Beast Wars toy is going to be great for someone like me, but it doesn't help the bigger picture. You got to get people excited for Rise of the Beast. You got to show some toys of Rise of the Beast. You got to show a trailer. You got to show something. And I understand they're not going to show a trailer. They're not going to show the trailer. They're not going to probably show the toys, because the toys would then reveal the designs. But at the same time, they got to do something. But I think it's going to be more legacy stuff. I think we're probably going to see some of those leaks that we saw online, in terms of those lists that we're going to supposedly see of certain items like Junkion 2, um, which supposedly is going to be that retool of Lockdown. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of little rumblings in the background of this and that. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil for people. I want them to be excited when they see it for the first time. Oh, snap. They're totally doing Botanica. That would actually be cool. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. A lot of chatter of what people are what they're going to be expecting at some point. Thirsty today. Had a very high sodium day today. Had probably the unhealthy. I had 2 hot dogs, two like big, humongous, giggity hot dogs from Costco, and their poutine, which Costco poutine honestly isn't that great, but you know, when you're there, you might as well get it. And I felt terrible afterwards eating it. Um, Michael Kutez says Thursday reveal is probably Walmart Velocitron Hot Rod, Crasher and Shadow Strip, and Walgreens Minerva. Michael, I don't really think so. And the reason I say that is because when they when they do store exclusives, right? Part of the contractual agreement with store exclusives is they're responsible for the hype, you know? So I don't really think they're going to show that stuff off. I really don't. I really don't. I think that there's going to be new product, stuff that we don't know about. Maybe they'll mention it in passing, but I don't really think that's the big reveals. I think it's going to be other stuff. The Walgreens Minerva, especially. Look, in all of Hasbro's history, they have never done a big reveal for a Walgreens exclusive. Ratchet, the Blue Streak that we had, none of them. They always just kind of like it just shows up, and then we learn because it shows up. Someone gets it in a store, they do a review of it, or someone does a photo shoot. So they always, they always find a way to kind of avoid doing the store exclusive stuff, because that's kind of the agreement that they have. What we'll probably see is more retail stuff, which in all honesty, if they have an hour to an hour and a half to show off stuff to us, the non-store exclusive stuff is more valuable, because that's the stuff that has the bigger numbers. That's not the stuff that just goes to all the Walmarts or all the Targets. That's the stuff that goes to all the Walmarts, all the Targets, all the Toys R Us's around the world, all the Walgreens, all the mom and pop comic book stores, all over the place. Your big bads, your everything, and on Hasbro Pulse. So, and not to mention, they said, and this is important, pre-orders will go live that same day. So it's probably going to be something that's larger numbers like that. Maybe even a new Generation Selects item. That's a possibility too. We haven't had a new Generation Selects item or jump in a while, so it could be something like that also. Mikey says, so want that Botanica. Oh, I'd love a new Botanica. I want a Botanica anything. I think that at this point, her and DevCon are probably the two most in need. Mind you, DevCon did have a figure in the past. It just wasn't really that great. So it was a BotCon one back in the day. It was just kind of squeezing it into a mold. But like, Botanica never had a toy, never had anything, never a PVC, never a little, third party, nothing, zero. So she needs one. She needs one. AI Dragon Legend says Thursday more repaint figures. It's a possibility. AI Dragon's possibility. Spurtimus Prime, I really hope for a little new news for Victory Saber. They said in the Hasbro Pulse Q&A roundtable that Victory Saber will be shipping out very soon. Like very, very soon. So if that Q&A happened at the beginning of this week, maybe it's shipping out right now. So they did address that lightly, but I didn't mention it in my individual segment because I didn't know how many people really ordered that or anything like that. And I would hope, I can't confirm it because I didn't order it myself. I'm just getting a sample sent to me. So because the sample's getting sent to me, I'm not getting the email updates. And I'm assuming, I guess you guys got an email update about it shipping out. That I can't confirm. Where are we at here? Where we at? Mikey says Titan class Nemesis. That would be great, but when you think about the timing, that would imply that we know our Titan class for Evolution literally before we've ever seen any Evolution Wave 1 product, which we've never. Look when by the time we learned the Arc, by the time we learned Metroplex, we were already kind of like a wave and a half into the line, sometimes already into Wave 2. So I don't think we're going to learn our Titan class just yet. Not, I think that's a little too soon. A little too soon. Tibrio Rodriguez wants to know Minerva is on pre-order on some retailers online. Perfect. Well, there you go. And get Minerva. Get Minerva. This is the cheapest way you will ever get a Minerva figure. Trust me, I'm looking for a Minerva. I'm going to try to find one. I have the original Minerva. You could barely see her. I think she's getting covered over there, but I have the original Minerva. So to be able to have the original, which is way too expensive, the Kotobukiya version, which is way too expensive, the bootleg, which is probably one of the most expensive bootlegs you'll ever own, way too expensive. I think that the PVC is cheap. The Wonderfest model kit, way too expensive. This is probably the cheapest Minerva ever, and it looks fantastic. And it's based off of the IDW comic one, which is a cool design, and it works with that Elita 1 kind of sculpt too. I love it. It looks great. And I'm pretty sure they'll make even a better Minerva later now that we have that trademark in the bubble of Transformers. For sure. Michael Koo says, HasLab, Victory Saber, sadness for Taiwan at the bottom of the ocean. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some, and plastic doesn't break down. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be some expedition many years later, and they're going to find the lost treasure of Victory Saber, the bottom of the ocean. Terrible. Wonder how many do you think must be at the bottom of the ocean? Think about that. Like for all of Taiwan, all of those at the bottom, even if it's 100, that's 100 too many. Think about that. That's crazy. Mikey says, then I humbly asked Hasbro for a new Slipstream. Oh, Slipstream will happen for sure. She's an ongoing trademark. I mean, yeah, okay, we just had Slipstream in Cyberverse, so they could kind of wait a couple years. But yeah, for sure they'll do a Slipstream. Spurtimus Prime says Titan class Metro Titan for Gen Selects. That's if they want to revisit that old Metroplex mold, because I don't think you want a Metro Titan out of the Cybertron one. I don't think so. AI Dragon Legend, maybe Diaclone repaints. How many are left? I think Yellow Trailbreak. Oh, there's a lot left. There's a lot left. And especially, there's first of all the Diaclone ones. And then when you get into Microman stuff and you could talk about those little variations, then there's a lot left. Definitely. You could do like a darker, like you could take Earthrise Netflix Soundwave, give it a even more darker blue, give him the yellow eyes, cassette man, on the chest. Like you could really deep dive and give people another opportunity to get that cassette thing, which I'm pretty sure people would dig. If they couldn't get one Soundwave, they'll definitely buy cassette man, you know. micro cassette man. And you could even make the Laserbeak and the Ravage have that cool cassette sticker on it. It'd be cool. I'd dig that. But yeah, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a giveaway. Then we're gonna open up. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do the giveaway first, and then we'll do some other stuff. But first, we gotta do some sponsors. Got to do some sponsors because they keep the wheels running on this craziness. So let's talk about Symbiote Studios. Today I'm wearing their Optimus Prime. I was actually talking with Symbiote Studios about them being at the very next TFcon in LA. So stay tuned for that. But Symbiote Studios, our plush, our pins. Got Shockwave today. Love my Shockwave. Our plush, our pins, and our t-shirts. Check them all out. Again, symbiotestudios.com. Get your big plushes, your Transformer pins, and your t-shirts. All official. None of that third-party stolen IP stuff. This is official Transformer product. Get them all. Get the Hound. I love the Hound. I don't know I call it I don't know. I call it Watermelon Hound just because he reminds me of a watermelon. His head is so big, like a watermelon. But they're all there. The Seekers, Shockwave, Hound, Wheeljack, Catnip, Bravo Convoy, Soundwave 2.0, Grimlock, which is always a bestseller. And of course, we have Wave 5 coming next year. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Be sure to stay tuned for that. And of course, all their other brands of Hasbro. Get the Power Ranger pins, the Magic the Gathering pins. Reminder, Magic the Gathering set coming out next month that has Transformer cards. So be sure to check that out. And of course, G.I. Joe. Get your G.I. Joe action. And the ponies for the bronies. And the brand new Dragon Zord and G.I. Joe pins that are hitting stores right now at symbiotestudios.com. And of course, our boys and Deceits, who are the provider of the throne of the podcast. So be sure to check out And Deceits. Look at that. Bada boom. The awesome And Deceits collection 2022 Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron G1 edition. Check them out. The link is in the description below. Go check out the And Deceits. See if you want to get a brand new chair. Sit in front of your computer with Optimus Prime with lower lumbar support or magnetic clasp for your head if you're a tall guy like me. I had a terrible chair for a while. Now I'm rocking the And Deceits. So check them out for And Deceits. Link is in the description below. And you get a special promo code. Put promo code Protoman. You get 10% off your purchase. And that goes a long way, let me tell you. That'll cover your taxes. And of course, coming this weekend, the big announcement, the new episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer will be debuting tomorrow. The reason why we didn't have a podcast segment on Friday yesterday was because I was working on the final touches of this episode. So be sure to stay tuned for that on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer separate channel. Just type the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer on your YouTube search algorithm. You'll find it. Be sure to like, comment, and of course, subscribe to that channel. A lot of Transformer talk there, a deep dive. Some episodes go between an hour to an hour and a half long, just talking about robots or Batman figures or Jurassic Park toys or Star Wars or the Justice League or Transformers. Hey, we even talked about Aliens at one point because Aaron Archer worked on Aliens toys even at Kenner. So very good podcast. Again, tomorrow is the brand new episode. But if you are at TFcon right now, Mr. Archer is there right now selling his book, Aaron Archer's Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 1, Black and White Edition. Be sure to pick it up at TFcon. It is there right now. You can ask him to sign it. You can ask him to do a sketch on the inside. A lot of good stuff. But if you can't be at TFcon, go to archermonster.com/shop. Get yourself a copy for $20. Add an extra $15 and he'll do a custom sketch of anything you want within reason. I know many years ago, Aaron made this for me. This was really cool. And I can't show you guys the painting that he also put for my little work office here. Even certified it and everything. Nice little Energon hot rod, Roddy over there. So again, check it out. Robots in disguise. Now then, we're going to do the giveaway. So once again, reminder, giveaway is for Patreon members and YouTube channel members. Those are what the green names are. So if you are a Patreon member, I'm going to ask a question. And when I ask the question, essentially you have to put your Patreon name and then the answer. If you're a YouTube member, you don't have to put your Patreon name or whatever because your green name is enough of a proof. My mod John on the other side is here today, fighting off the spam and all kinds of crazy stuff that we were dealing with last week, and we're probably gonna have to deal with it again today at some point. But John's gonna take all those names, put them in a hat, all the Patreon members and all the YouTube members, and pick a winner. And what are we gonna have today for the giveaway? What is the giveaway today? Well, the giveaway today, because it's third party related, we are TFcon weekend. We are throwing back to an old vintage third party item, old one. Ladies and gentlemen, Targetroids, mint in box Targetroids, Optimus Prime and Megatron. So the Targetroids were two little Target Master like Transformers that transform into Optimus Prime and Megatron, but they are be able to transform into guns that could be held by your Transformer figures. Pretty much it's a 5mm to 3mm peg, and you could fit it inside your Transformer's hands, and you could have Optimus shooting Optimus while he's Optimus. So we have the Targetroid 2-pack here that is up for grabs. This comes courtesy of Bint Studios. And the question we have today for our members is, name one of the 4 Earthspark Deluxes that we have coming this year. Could be the ones that we don't know about even. But name one of the 4. I'll wait. Give me a chance to drink too. Mm-mm-mm. I know it's a lot of people are going to be chiming in. All the craziness that's going on. Michael, man, you're at TFcon. That's crazy. I wish I was able to be there and meet you, man. That's crazy. I know some people were taking Cringe McCringle and T-Formers 2002 took pictures with Jaws D. He was at TFcon. Jaws D actually made the trip. 7-hour delay. Oh God, you can't pay me to do that. You know? It's already bad enough just crossing the border without the big V ruining everything. It would take forever. Usually it's like 2 hours. You got to show up early. The plane flight is like 3 hours. So right away, that's 5 hours just to get to TFCon. Add another 7 hours because of all the delays. And then you got to sit there sleeping in the airport or buying airport food at like $200 a hamburger. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But either way, it don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. The way I see it, hopefully by the time we get to TFCon LA, that's my hope. 5 months from now, we'll be able to travel better. It'll be less of a headache, and everything will work out. Someone from Vermont went to TFCon. Well, he could draw. See, the thing is, if I could have driven it, that would have been good. But everyone I knew was flying out, and I wasn't going to do a 13-hour drive alone. If I had one co-pilot to go with, that would have changed everything. That would have made it so much easier because then we could swap. But to drive 13 hours alone, yeah, 6 is already too much. 13, once again, that's something where I'm like, I'm taking a lot of stops. I'm sleeping on the side of the road. Not to mention the mileage on the car. 13 hours of driving is not fun for nobody. You're spending a whole day just driving. And then I show up at the show and I look more haggard than I already look. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So John has all the names. Okay. Let me just make sure, John. Okay. So John has all the names. So we're going to do the announcement in a moment. First, we're going to do some P.O. box opening. Let's just read some quick questions. What do we got here? Michael Ku says, Protoman Archer forgot to promote the Toy Armada during his Q&A panel. Was he wearing a Toy Armada t-shirt? Because I know that he manufactured those. You have to understand, there's a reason why I do panels with Aaron. Sometimes I always say Aaron is the topping on bread. Meaning like if you eat, I'm bread and Aaron's the topping on the bread. Meaning like if you eat bread on its own, it's kind of boring. And if you have the topping, it adds to it, but you need to have both. And that's what makes it, some good peanut butter bread or something, or an Eggo waffle with like maple syrup on it. So like you need to have both. So I hope the panel was good though. I hope it was entertaining and I hope you guys learned something. I don't know what he was talking about this time around. I think it was one of his private panels. I'm not too sure. I don't know what the schedule was for that. But hopefully TFcon LA. Hopefully TFcon LA, my friends. That's more than anything. I really want to do TFcon LA with you guys. That's the big goal. Let me just see what else. Mikey says sometime in 2040 we'll be able to get our very first TFCon. I hope not, Mikey. Michael says Aaron Archer was wearing a shirt over his Toy Armada shirt. Couldn't see the Toy Armada. You know what? I'm guilty of that too, though. I always wear like over shirts and stuff. So like people I'll be wearing like Symbiote Studio shirts, but I'm wearing like usually a shirt over it sometimes. So Aaron Archer is peanut butter. Then who's the jelly? I know someone who's there that's quite jelly. We volunteer as jelly. Michael Koo, Aaron Archer mentioned the packaged plastic ties waste with Unicron. That was an eye opener. Well, look, we tell it like it is. We don't have to be company men. So we're gonna open up some of these, two of them today from the PO box from Mikey and Louie. I don't know what's in here. This one, I think this one's what is this? Is like deluxe class shaped. Earthrise stuff was deluxe class shaped like this, yeah, something like that. Earthrise, like I know that it's definitely not. Oh, I don't know. We'll open these and then I'll take more super chats and YouTube member questions. So here we go, people. Oh, it's red. Oh, it is Braun. It is Braun, my boy Braun from Bumblebee movie. This one I'm really excited about. I love Braun. And I missed it. Look at the next one. Look at Braun. Woo! He got hit in the shoulder not once, but twice in two different Transformer movies. Megatron, Decepticons. And then he was shot in the shoulder. Thank you, Mikey and Louie. Thank you, Mikey and Louie. What do you think of Red Cog? I think everyone should get Red Cog and any of the accessory pack stuff. That stuff goes up in value like crazy afterwards. It's the same thing like the Centurion drone. If you don't get Red Cog now, you're going to regret it later. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys. He's so plentiful, but when he's gone, he's going to be gone. Don't kid yourself, Proto. It's clearly a long Funko. Oof, I hope not. It's true. No, it can't be a Funko. Those mini ones there. Those keychain ones. Or what are those new ones there? They have those like giant pin ones there. You saw those giant Funko pins? Those ones are becoming a thing now. Who would wear those? They're like this big. They're like huge. It's like the size of a Funko Pop. Why would you wear a pin that big? That's crazy. It's like it would weigh down your shirt. You'd just be like, I don't know. It's weird. Weird stuff. Michael Koo says, Studio Series Braun, I think, is a great figure. Good to hear, because this one I'm so happy. I'm gonna definitely do a lot of photos of this one. Any new Braun figures. I love mini bots because they were the cheaper stuff that I actually could afford back in the day. And Braun and Cliff Jumper. It's like I can't decide who's my favorite mini bot, but they're like at the top. Maybe Braun just it eaches out just a little bit. Brawn, Cliff Jumper, like, I have a soft spot for Beachcomber too. Huffer and Pipes are awesome. I'm not a big Swerve guy. Mainly because I wasn't sold on Swerve before. Obviously, the comics made him more popular, but I don't know. I don't know. And again, of course, Cosmos is awesome, which I hope people will be able to get one day. So we're gonna open up the second one. This one, this one feels more. This one feels more Generation Selecty. You can just tell because it has the ridges on the end here. That's my call right now. Let's rip it right here, I guess. Yeah, I was right. Generation Selects, but who is it? Is the sticker going to be here? Oh no, sticker's not here. It's on the other side. Okay. So who is the Generation Selects item? It's clearly a early Gen Select item because it doesn't have box art, and the item is deep cover. Oh, a sealed. I have to make sure the sealed so she's not trolling me with Mikey and Louie not trolling me with Funko Pops. This is the deep cover that's done in his accurate deep cover colors, as opposed to the Netflix one that's more of a blue. And I nailed that one. Swish. Beautiful. Deep cover. Take a photo with that one too. On my Instagram. Be sure to check that out. Obviously, it'll be on Twitter too, but it'll probably show up on Instagram. For this one, I'm really happy about. Thank you, Mikey and Louie. This one's really awesome. Braun is the shiznit. Um, no love for complaining Huffer. No, I like Huffer. I love Huffer. I think Huffer. I remember when I was young, like if I had a choice. I remember when I was a kid. If I had a choice of any of the mini bots, it would have been like Cliff Jumper and Huffer back then. Because in my mind, it was like if I could have gotten Huffer, it was like having Optimus Prime. Because I couldn't afford an Optimus Prime. It's too big, too crazy. So if I could have had a Huffer figure, he could have been like my stand-in for the longest time. But I think what my first mini bot was. Who was my first mini bot? I think it was Outback, I want to say. I don't remember. I think it was Outback. And I remember I got Outback because I was like, oh, I want to have it. And for the longest time, to me, Outback was Braun. And he was cool because he was the only mini bot that had an accessory. He had the little gun on the back that you could remove. So Outback was like my little Braun figure forever until I got actual Braun. But I like the Outback figure more because he actually had hands instead of like the hook hands that Braun has. Loved it. Michael Koo with the super chat for $5. Thank you, Michael Koo, with the super chat. Do you think Walmart will reissue Power Glide Ultra for the 25th anniversary action figure? The Ultra Class one. The only way I could see that Power Glide getting reissued is if they do it with like the GI Joe crossovers. If they do a GI Joe crossover with that Power Glide, turn it into like a Cobra Rattler, I could see that. Actually, no, they did the Viper with it, if I remember correctly. Last time they did it with the little Legend scale, but I could see that. But otherwise, that's a really old mold. That's an old mold that also, if I remember correctly, also has electronics in it. And they're trying to avoid having electronics in the collectible stuff. They kind of like leave that more for the gimmicky lines. Like, when was the last time we had electronics in mainline generation related stuff? I mean, really? Like, really? I think when we went to Generations, was it like Metroplex? Like our big Titan class? I can't even think of anything else outside of that. Yeah, it's like they didn't bother with that anymore. Grumpimus Prime. Spurtimus Prime, excuse me, Spurntimus Prime says his favorite mini bot is Gears. Yeah, Gears is cool too. Doesn't get enough love, Gears, and then he just got unceremonially killed off in the '86 movie. Just kind of just lying there next to Wheeljack. Fortress Maximus as a result too, because Fort Max is Metroplex. It's the same mold. It's just retooled. Same inners and everything. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, we really, yeah, they just kind of they've abandoned that because it's too expensive. Too expensive, way too expensive. Um, but again, this one, this is really cool. I'm very happy about that. Very happy about that. We haven't had a decent, like, I want a Studio Series 86 Brawn with the background of the shuttle with interchangeable damaged shoulders. Oh, it'd be so cool. Oh, I like a deluxe class 86 Brawn where now you have the budget that you could really do all the details. That'd be so cool. Can't wait for that. Mark and Evan. Well, it would be Evan in this case because Evan's doing Studio Series. Evan, do that, man. Do that, brother. Do it. Do it. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Oh, might as well show also. So this is what I got in the mail. It's not Transformer related, but I might as well show you guys. So I ordered this a while back and it was in development for a while. It's the Virtual Boy Works book. It's a hardcover collection of all of the Virtual Boy games ever made in a historical
Megatron must be
documentation.
stopped,
So
no
really
matter the
excited about that.
cost.
I own a Virtual Boy, and I love weird stuff in Nintendo's history. And it even came with a die-cast Virtual Boy cartridge, so that's pretty cool too. Listen to that; it's very loud, metal. So pretty cool. I can't wait to read this new bedside reader for the old Proto Man. So dig that. That's pretty cool. That's something. That's the only thing I got in the mail this week, or I picked up. I didn't go toy hunting at all. Just took it easy this week. Mikey says, in honor of TFcon, what are some of your favorite memories of TFcon? Ooh, like I think I've said this one before. Um, it was a memory that reminded me how I take so much for granted now, being in the fandom this long. Um, TFCon always has a VIP section where the guests could go to kind of just relax if they need to, or get something to eat, or if they need to smoke or something. So we have a special huge VIP room. And in that VIP room, there's even catering. Like you could go in there, you could get something to eat and stuff. It's a room that's just there for people to just chill that are related to staff or our guests. And I remember it was me, Ultra Primal, I want to say Jaws D was there too. Yeah, Jaws D was there also. And the three of us were just chilling. And then David K comes and he's like, "Hey guys, can I sit with you?" Because there's all these tables everywhere, right? So he's just like, he didn't want to sit alone. So he's like, and we're like, "Yeah, sure, David, you can sit down." And then David Wise, rest in peace, David Wise, he isn't with us anymore. David Wise, who he wrote for Ninja Turtles, he wrote for Transformers, Speed Racer. He came and sat with us, and we were all just eating together and just relaxing. And I remember just sitting there, and we had like steak and we had broccoli and everything. And I was just sitting there going like, man, like if like high school Proto Man who was obsessed with Beast Wars would have known that years later he'd be sitting down just casually eating with David K and one of the writers for Speed Racer. Like it would have blown my mind. I mean, I have so many memories. There's too many. When you've been to as many TF cons, like just every TF con is amazing. The last one that I was at in Toronto, doing the charity auction. I remember Ian announced me for the charity auction. Everyone's like, "Woo, Proto Man!" Like, being a rock star. It felt amazing. You know, doing the charity auction with you guys is always super cool. That's always so important to do that because it's what Make a Wish Foundation. And like we always try to make $10,000 because $10,000 is one wish. Imagine one wish takes $10,000. So if we could sell $10,000 of product, that's a big deal. And like doing that every single year is so fun. It is tiring as hell to do. It's very tiring because I have to sort everything. Anyone who went to TFCon Toronto sees you have to come to me or Ian. You have to bring it to me. I have to go through everything to make sure you didn't give me like rocks or anything. I give you tickets and correspondence, how much product you gave me, and then I gotta sort it. Oh, this is loose. Armada stuff. Maybe we'll put that here. Oh, this one figure you gave, this one's a good figure, so we'll sell that separately because that might give some good money. Because my job is to go through everything, find the things that are like decent money, and sell those first. Because usually we have a guest that's the auctioneer will usually have a guest or something. Last year we didn't, but usually we do because COVID obviously made that a little more difficult. But I mean, those are always fun. I love doing that. Hanging out with the guests, I mean, that's a given. That's a given. But I've kind of became jaded with that because when you've seen David K like 12 times at this point, Gary Chalk 9 times, Peter Cullen 4 times, Frank Welker twice now. You know, I mean, it's not really it's just hanging out. It sucks because last TFCon we couldn't hang out properly. The bar was closed because of, again, the big
Megatron
V.
must be
A lot
stopped,
of stuff was
no
kind of held
matter the
back. So we weren't
cost.
able to like do the normal lobby hanging out. But hopefully TFCon LA in March, I'll be there. For sure I'll be at Toronto because there's no flying with that. I could just drive, 4 or 5 hours. Boom, I'm there. You know? So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But I have so many memories. It's too many. It's hanging out with friends. Those are the memories. It's Scott McNeil getting drunk and signing all the rat traps around the hotel. It's it's watching some of my, some people who don't get to drink all year drink and vomit all over the place, who clearly don't drink all year. It's a lot of crazy stuff. It's watching Gary Chalk play the guitar for everyone and at the time because the Watchmen movie had come out and Gary Chalk had the soundtrack for the Watchmen. He was been listening to it, which was a lot of older music. Him playing the soundtrack to the Watchmen on an acoustic guitar for everyone in the bar. There's actually footage of that on YouTube. You can look it up from TFCon. You can even see me in the background, like darting back and forth, and it's crazy because there's Gary playing the guitar, and then you have Simon Furman and Paul Eiding just hanging out, and Derek Wyatt was like also around there too in the background. So many memories hanging out with Derek Wyatt year after year after year after year. Just so many memories. People that aren't with us, people that are still with us. It's great stuff. Conventions are conventions are amazing because you find deals in that dealer room, you get exclusives. There's all that surface level stuff, you meet the guests, but then there's that extra layer of hanging out with people. And the beautiful thing with conventions is that every person walking through that door likes the same thing you do. It's not like, when you go into a room, you don't know if people like anime or comic books or video games but everyone in that room loves Transformers. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Collector Prime for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Collector Prime, for the super chat. Hey, Proto, do you think Studio Series would have a Titan class, specifically anything newer movies like Rise of the Beast? Well, the way I think of it is if there was Titan class, I mean, we got the box set of Devastator. Kind of a Titan class, but not really. But when you look at the pricing, it's actually probably more than a Titan class. But Devastator probably falls into that. And then you have to ask yourself, what would be a Titan class? If they ever did Stratosphere, the big plane that had Optimus Prime in it from Revenge of the Fallen, that big cargo plane. If they did a Stratosphere figure, I love that figure, but it has tons of GPS, and I'm terrified to touch it now because I've seen people's photos of it breaking, and I'm like, oh no, that was such a good figure. And he's huge even today. I'm looking at him, and it's like he's still like taller than like 90% of the toys. It's crazy. It's crazy. But like, who would be like a if they did like a 2-pack, even if they did a 2-pack of Optimus and Jetfire, that would be more of a commander class. There's nothing that really falls into that unless we get a little somebody that might be in the Rise of the Beast movie of a certain well, I don't know who. You know, maybe him, but I don't know. I do not know. There's no one that really comes to mind that could fit that size, really. Outside of like a Devastator, and we kind of got that. That's just kind of my take. Orlando Chavez with the YouTube membership question. Just want to thank you for the deodorant tip for TFCon. Wish some more people knew about it. Hope you're able to make it to the next one that comes to Chicago. Well, if the planes are better by next year, for sure. And we go back to Chicago all the time. Chicago's a hub. So if I was a betting man, there's going to be a TFCon in Chicago again. So the deodorant tip, bro, you don't know deodorant tip until you've gone to BotCon 2010 in Disney. Oh my God. You don't even want to go in the dealer room. Like, it was peak hours, Saturday, 12 o'clock, Florida. The heat is blazing. It's July. No, it was June. It was June in Florida, like peak heat, Disney, and that dealer room smelled like someone diarrheaed all over the carpet. It was just the worst smell ever. You didn't want to go in the dealer room. You're just like, you know what? I don't care if I'm missing out. I don't care. I can't breathe in there. It was disgusting. It was the worst ever. And it's crazy because, you could say like, oh, isn't like, like I'm not buying soap because I got to spend money on toys. Soap is free in the hotel room. They give you as much as you want. Go to the front desk. I need like 3 bars of the little soap. They'll give you 3. They'll give you 10. They give you free shampoo, free what do they have? Conditioner, shampoo. They have I think there's like some kind of essential oils one. There's always one that I don't use. I forget what that extra one is. I think it's like a body wash or something. I don't know what they there's always like a whole bunch of them depending on the hotel. Like it's crazy. It was so bad. It was so bad. So, you know, I hate to like sound like it's a stereotype, but guys, man, you got it. You got it. It's going to be sweaty. It's going to be a sweaty weekend. When you're someone like me that's, vibrating and all over the place, I can imagine too that I might be a little funky sometimes. You got a right guard. You got a right guard. To quote Hulk Hogan when he used to do those commercials, because any less would be uncivilized. And that's the truth. That's the truth. But thank you, Orlando Chavez, for the YouTube member question. Eyes on the Ace. Yes, I agree. I got a lot from McCary. Oh, they're buying stuff on McCary. A lot of people go on there. There's good deals on there, supposedly. Mikey says would like oops, one sec. I'm losing everything here. There we go. Would like to do a big Make-A-Wish donation for TFcon with all our extra stuff. Mikey, trust me, we already have tons. Like, people ask if they could ship stuff in, and even TFcon says, please don't. The amount of stuff that we get donated just in person is already, we don't even have enough, like, literally, if we could show you photos of the table every year. We don't even have time to auction everything. People have come up to me mad because they would donate something and they'd be like, you didn't get to auction it. I'm like, look. We don't have enough time to auction everything. Whatever doesn't get auctioned, we have a silent auction that we do afterwards. Everything, we get money for everything and it goes towards Make-A-Wish. Trust me. That's why we don't take like stuff sent, because there's just so much. There is so much that gets donated. We've had to like reject stuff. We've had to reject like, dollar bin comic books and stuff because so much was getting donated. It was crazy. It was crazy. Every year is crazy. I think the craziest year was, what was the year with we had John Machia, Machina or whatever from Blur. Oh my god, we had like, it was like the tables were spilling over. There was just so much stuff. There was too much. Like I remember like the 2 first rows I had to use for toys because I could, like, for chairs, because I couldn't even use the tables anymore. There was so much that was donated. And we appreciate that it gets donated. Don't get me wrong, but trust me, we're good. We're good. I remember Michael Koo, he donated some Transformer DVDs. And I told Michael, thank you. I'll put it in there. He sent it to me to donate. And I was like, well, Michael, there's so much. There's so much. And Michael's stuff, like literally, I put the DVDs with a whole bunch of other Transformer DVDs and we put them all together and we sold it as a lot. Because we get, again, DVDs are dead now. So many people are donating their Transformer DVDs. So it'd be like, complete set of G1. We'll start the bidding at $10, 10, 15, 20, 20, 30, $30. Here you go. Another complete set of G1 because so many people were donating them. I remember so many people were donating which RC was it? It was one of the RC figures. Oh, the Generations RC. Everyone was not Generations, Earthrise RC. Everyone was donating that one because they learned about the Studio Series 86 one. So that we had tons of RCs, tons of them. And so I was doing these like 3-packs of RCs because there was just so many. Trust me, we get so much. So much. Jason Nectar. I can't pronounce that, Jason. I'm just going to say Jason for the $10 gold super chat. Netchin. I'm in CA. You're in Cali. I love Cali, by the way. Normally, it's family time now, so I'm not away. Sorry. So I'm not always able to catch the live. Just want to show my support. Thank you, Jason. Been asking Geek Dad Live if they would have you as a guest. Geek Dad Live. I don't even know what Geek Dad Live is, but I don't know. Just direct me in their direction. I'll see what they are. I have a lot of times people ask me if I could be on their podcast. If the hours work out, I don't mind. I've been on many other podcasts. It's just I work and then I do my own podcast and then I have a social life and it's kind of hard to stick that in. So, if it's on like a Sunday, because Sundays are my free days, those are usually the easiest days to record something. Mikey says here, but then again, thank you, Jason, for the gold super chat and the love and support. Thank you so much. Mikey says, has there been any information on when TFcon in California will be? The information's already up right now on tfcon.com. Probably more information will obviously be updated when Chicago is over this weekend on Monday. Rodimus toy unboxing, Protoman. Do you think Hasbro will give us all small Target Masters? I think we'll get them at some point, but not all of them. We will get a new scoop. Oh, I would love to get a new scoop, but we got a good scoop before that had Target Masters. Or is Hasbro considering the older generation perfect enough not to bother? Hope we get a new one. With someone like Scoop, I don't think they'll do it right away unless they have to do something with a trademark. And then who knows? They just might throw the Scoop trademark on something else. A GoBot homage. Put Scoop for spoons. Maybe that'd be cool. Get us another forklift. But we will see. We will see. I think we will get more Target Masters, though. Again, Mark is obsessed with completing collections, like he says. Princeton Phalanx 59. Hey, Proto, with all the Seeker repaints, do you think Hasbro will do Sunstorm? Of course. Of course. Whenever you don't have a Seeker Jet repaint that hasn't been done yet, it's just because they did that trademark somewhere else and they're just waiting. It's like, oh, we did Sunstorm for Siege. Has it been 4 years yet? Not yet? We will wait. That's what they do. That's what they do. Wow, the fact that so much gets donated from people to us shows how great the Transformer community truly is. It's nuts. It is crazy. One guy, this was the TFCon that just passed. One guy donated a humongous Beast Wars collection, like vintage Beast Wars collection. It was so big that at first I was like, we should sell this individually because like just depth charge. I think it sold for like $100. Rampage, like almost complete, $80. The 3 Cheetors was like $60. We sold. Then I did all the basics. I wish we had like Evan Entertainment records all of this, and it all just stays in his archive. One day someone's got to put that stuff out there. That's why whenever you guys record the charity auction, I'm really grateful for that because I don't get to take any photos that weekend because I just don't have time, and I don't get to record anything. So it's a big deal. Ron Diaz with the $2 super chat. Michael, we'll get to the giveaway in a moment. We're going to do the giveaway. Ron Diaz with the super chat. Did you see the article on Sabertron regarding Hasbro stock down and price hikes? I'll talk about that in a moment for sure. Let me just we'll do the giveaway, Ron, and then we'll talk about Hasbro and their stock situation. I did mention it briefly in the live stream today. And I also wanted to show you guys something on my phone too that I found when I was at Costco today. But I'll show you guys after because we still got a lot of time. We still got a good 45 minutes together. So we'll take advantage of that. Okay, so let me just Johnny Boy, who's the winner? So the winner, John's got it. Okay, good, John. So the winner of the Targetroids third-party vintage mint in box Targetroids. Get some brand new vintage third-party. These guys are awesome. I have the Rodimus Starscream 2-pack of these. Love it. And I have the bootlegs too. They even did bootlegs of these that were oversized. So the winner is John. Do we have it? Ah, here we go. Media Max is the winner, who is a John. It is a YouTube member winner. So Media Max, if you won, please say, "Hey, I see that," and then that we could make sure that Media Max won and we don't give it to someone else, because we do have a second name here if Media Max does not claim it. We do have a second name. In the meantime, I'll get my phone ready so I could get the other stuff. Till all our guns. That's a good one. Optimus Prime and Megatron, Target Masters, till all our guns. Okay, Media Max, there you go. Okay, so Media Max, please contact me on Instagram and or Twitter and send me your home address so I could go outside your house and stalk you. Your Twitter's fine. Twitter is perfect. Just prove that you are Media Max, and then send me your home address, and we will have that sent right to you, my friend. And enjoy that. Take some nice photos of it when you get it. Put Optimus holding Optimus and Megatron holding Megatron, or I don't know, cross-pollinate and do something nasty. Awesome. Awesome stuff. So Media Max, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay, back to Ronnie. Ronnie. So Ron, so here's the situation. Okay, so Hasbro right now, their stocks are kind of in a little bit of a snag. The situation is, I wish I actually I should have pulled it up on my phone too. So right now, Hasbro stock and social security number. Don't post that though, please. Don't post that. Hasbro stock. Just want to just show people for visual. I probably should have made a slide too and stuff. Probably should have made a slide. So what happened is let me just zoom in a little bit to give people an idea. So Hasbro stock was going down quite a bit. That was a couple of days ago when that article was written. Okay? This is Hasbro. Let me just zoom, just kind of scroll out a little bit. Trading. See, it's gone back up since then, and I'll explain what happened. See, it was trading at $65 a share, Hasbro. It has gone up since then, quite a bit significantly, and I'll explain what happened, essentially. Hope that didn't mess with the camera too much. So, here's what happened. Hasbro, about 2-3 weeks ago, they announced a 30th anniversary Magic the Gathering card game proxy deck. And it was $1,000. And long story short, for people who don't understand Magic the Gathering, they printed cards that they promised they would never print. And then they said, "Oh, well, we printed cards that we said we were never going to print, but they have different backs. So because it has different backs, it's a different story." So essentially, that created a lot of drama, and a lot of people who play Magic the Gathering are also financial investor people. There's just that synergy. Transformer collectors, we're mechanics, we're engineers, we're scientists. We're a different walk of life. A lot of people who are Magic the Gathering players, I'm one of them, but a lot of them that I know are more in the financial world. They're investors and stuff like that. So when they saw that, they pulled out, and Hasbro stock went down. And the sad thing is that Magic the Gathering is very important to Hasbro's overall success. 70% of Hasbro's profits come from Magic the Gathering. That's pretty crazy, I know. But it's because, and when I say 70%, I don't mean 70% of sales, I mean their profits, meaning that manufacturing cost against profit. They could sell 4 of these cards for $60 and they make millions of dollars, and people pay that. Now, what does it cost to make this? Nothing, because they literally use this and they sell this. Now, obviously not an island for Magic the Gathering, a mountain for Magic the Gathering, but they'll sell 4 cards for $30 American, But that same cardboard equivalency has to go into making just a Transformer box. And yet, so the profit margins on Magic for them was very important. And that announcement of the 30th anniversary set mixed with, slumping sales, and most importantly, and people forget this, in 2020 and 2021, and I'm not coming to Hasbro's corner here. I'm just trying to give you guys the facts. I call out Hasbro when they screw up too. But in 2020 and 2021, there was a lot of free money that was printed. There was a lot of free money that was put out there. There was a lot of free money that was given to people that didn't need that money. When the big V happened, I was offered to get free checks. And I said, I don't need them because I knew something was fishy and I didn't take them. I knew that, I'm probably gonna have to pay these back. And, that also goes towards taxes because I run conventions, I'm a 1099. I'm a mechanic, but because I also make my own independent income, I'm a 1099, which is independent contractor. To take that kind of money and have that on my taxes, it might be very dicey. So I didn't take that free money, but a lot of people did. A lot of people. A lot of people. And a lot of people took that money that didn't need it and they put it into things that they normally would have not had the money for. So Hasbro made a lot of money from people who had excess income and then looked at those profits and went, "Wow, look how great we're doing. We're going to smash those profits. We're going to do amazing." And that was one reason why they did so well. And now everything's going down. It's one of these things that it's going down to what it was before the big V and the free money printing. Money machine go burr, as they say. You know? Kevin Sullivan used to say, if the ATM is shooting hundreds, you gotta stand in front of it until it stops. That's what people were doing. That's what people were doing. They were just taking the money and spending that money. Combined with the fact that what also happened between 2020 and today. Brian Goldner, the CEO, passed away. And when Brian passed away, and Brian, who was the CEO of Hasbro, he came in 2001, was a game changer for Hasbro. If you look at what G.I. Joe was, Transformers, and all these other brands were prior to Brian Goldner being in that company, they were in a weird place. Beast Machines didn't do well. Car Robots, Robots in Skies was just kind of buying them time. G.I. Joe was in a really bad place. Like everything was kind of struggling. My Little Pony didn't even exist for that 1 year. And then Brian came in and fixed everything. Brian had these connections with Paramount. So we all know what happened with that when he started talking with Paramount about, why don't we make a movie? So Brian being gone and this new CEO, Chris Cox, and Chris Cox, by the way, guess who he was the CEO of before? So there's a lot of nervousness. Number one, money machine ain't going burr anymore. So people aren't spending as much money. Number two, new CEO that isn't proven. Number three, that Magic the Gathering drama that happened. So a lot of just, those financiers and everything like that, they kind of got out. There's a few things going on, but it's not something that, in all honesty, look at what Hasbro's trading stocks are right now, and then look at what their trading stocks were before in 2019. Yeah, it went down. But you know what it did? It went down back to what it was before. That's all. They had a high. They were high-fiving and going, we number one. And then it went back to normal. And from the outsider looking in perspective, wow, that was a dip. And it was a dip. But it was a dip back to normal. It's kind of like, if your whole life you could only jump so high. And you've been doing that your whole life. And then one day you jump extremely high. And then you never do that again. It's like that's just what happened. There was a peak that came out of nowhere because of a world global event that no one expected, and then it went back. Rodimus, I'll get to your question in a second. Sorry I went on a long rant. But yeah, it's just one of these things. You just got to kind of like understand that before it was also in that 65, 63, sometimes 70 area. And then it went up like crazy because, oh my God, everyone's buying toys. Everyone's buying Magic cards. Wow, Hasbro's in a new renaissance. No, it's called everyone was given a free check of $2,000 And some of those people didn't need that check. Some people still had their jobs. And if you magically got $2,000 out of nowhere for no reason, of course you're going to go out and buy something. And some people, they went and they put it into stocks. Some people, they put it into toys. Some people put it in the merchandise. Hasbro is the largest toy company in the world. So chances are, if you bought a toy, it probably was a Hasbro toy. If you bought a My Little Pony, if you bought something from Play School, if you no, not fit, yeah, Fisher Price or Play School, excuse me. If you bought something from the board game stuff, chances are it was a Hasbro product. That's how it is. Okay, let's get into these super chats. I'm sorry, guys. But I hope that answers that. Rodimus Power Toy Unboxing wants to know, will we get a new Constructicon or Aerial Bots next? I think Aerial Bots are going to be the next combiner. Not counting what's going on with the core class Dinobots. I'm saying like a full combiner. I think Aerial Bots are next. That's my take. I keep saying that because it just makes sense. It just makes sense. I could be wrong, but call it my sixth sense on this one. AI Dragon Legend, there's no Yu-Gi-Oh cards in any Target stores, only Magic the Gathering, so many. Why it happens. Same thing with Pokemon. They took them out of stores because people were cracking open the packs and stealing cards. Blame your area and the thieves. No one steals Magic cards because no one knows Magic. Prince and Phalanx 59, no money is free. Someone is going to have to pay for it. Ain't it the truth, brother? All that money that people got for free led to the inflation that we have today magically, among other reasons. Among other reasons. Bumblebot, didn't the new CEO say he was expecting a loss in the this fiscal year? Yeah, of course, because you're going to have a loss because now you don't have the free money. He's already getting ready for it. He warned in advance because he knows the free money isn't there anymore. When all of a sudden your paying audience doesn't have free money and there's inflation and things are more expensive, which are they going to do? Toy robots or food? You can eat ramen noodles and macaroni and cheese your whole life? Probably not. Orlando Chavez with the $5 super chat. What effect do a difficult economy times, inflation, recession, etc. has on Transformers? Will it affect what product is made in the future? So the last time we had a huge recession, I actually posted this image on my Twitter not too long ago. It went viral. It went pretty crazy, that one. Last time we had a huge recession was 2008. We had the 2008 recession, and 2008 came, it was like the perfect timing. Michael Bay movie came out. Everyone became huge Transformer fans. People who weren't Transformer fans were now Transformer fans. People who used to be Transformer fans came back to the hobby. And people who were Transformer fans all this time doubled down. Oh man, did we double down. But the point is that happened and everyone was hungry. Then the recession of 2008 happened and people were still hungry. And so they made sure that they had time for Transformers. The only way that the recession hurt Transformers, and this is the only way, is the secondary market of Transformer product in 2008 is a lot less than, let's say, 2007 or 2010. So if you're looking for Allspark powered repaints or like what Crasher, the first, like when it was called Fracture, that Mirage repaint, those ones are more difficult to get because they still got bought, but they weren't bought in the crazy numbers than, let's say, 2007 product. So that's the only negative, was the secondary market was weak. It's the same thing, like I always say, how Scorponok, Titan class Scorponok, he's going to be the ticket item because he didn't sell as much because he came out during the pandemic. People weren't buying it. People weren't able to get in stores and get it. People thought it was the end of the world. There's all these different social factors. Scorponok didn't sell as much. That's why Hasbro did the Black Zarek repaint, because they were like, ooh, Scorponok didn't sell that well, and we put a lot of time and energy into that tooling. We should probably do another release. And so they did. And it was a Pulse exclusive, which, like, that was out of nowhere. So it's something where, to me personally, it wasn't that bad. The image that I posted, granted, the recession that affected us back then was more just people were losing their jobs and stuff. The savings were taking a dive. People couldn't afford housing and stuff. So there is a certain demographic of people that even previously were not buying Transformers. Were definitely not buying Transformers. Now, this recession that we have now affects everybody. It's just it's not as bad as 2008. The new recession now is more things are more expensive. And because it's more expensive, that affects everybody. Meaning that a rich guy and a poor guy are still going to go to Starbucks and the $10 that they had in their pocket is not worth as much as it was pre 2020. So where the recession that was happening in 2008, it really was just a small demographic of people, but it was that small demographic of people made up a majority of the working class and the middle class, and it's a big social thing, but it was a lot worse. This one, it affects everybody, but it's not as dire, I guess is the best way to put it. I think the only places right now that are really getting hit by everything is what's going on in China right now with their banking, but that's a whole other discussion that I don't want to get into right now. So, but again, I think right now everything's okay. It's just Transformers are expensive. I think that's the only takeaway. It's just they're more expensive than what they used to be. Literally doing editing with the toy Armada and realizing like, wow, you know, ultra class Transformers were $20 back in the day, and that same ultra class figure, aka Optimus Primal, the reissue, is not $20 today. And even with inflation, which is $33.94, it still is not that. So we're in a different world. We're in a different inflated world. Collector Prime with the super oh, hold on. Mikey says, I think G2 Legacy Repaint Menasor would come after or the same as the Arrow. I think G2 stuff is going to be pieced out of the Menasor, but it's not going to be the big focus item like an Aerial Bots and Superion. Collector Prime with the $5 super chat. We get so many Transformers each year now, more than most can afford to buy. What year has been the most Transformer toys any time prior to now? Oh, dude, 2007, 2008 had way more. 2007, 2008 had more Transformers than you will ever imagine. Just movie stuff. Just movie stuff. There is probably more fast action battlers than there is legacy stuff or Earthrise. There is more legend scale movie repaints, not even the main ones, the repaints. Like there is like 5 Bumblebees, 6 Ironhides, 4 Ratchets, 2 Scorponox. The amount of product that came out in 2007 you had classics, we were coming on the tail end, it was just ending Cybertron and then going into animated. We had what do you call it, titaniums. We had the tail end of alternators, the very last of the alternator stuff. We had Robot Heroes, the Mr. Potato Head stuff, the movie line. How could I forget that? Like these are all just lines. And then all the sublines that are involved in there: Robot Replicas, Transformers Unleashed, Fast Action Battlers, all the different price points. I know I'm forgetting something. Battle Scenes, Bumpin' Battlers, Cyber Stompers, Gravity Bots. 2007 was bananas. Bananas. And rightfully so. And I know I'm forgetting Real Gear. Forgetting stuff. I'm forgetting stuff. I know I'm forgetting Real Gear. The Go bots were still a thing. They were still doing the Go bots until 2008. Titaniums, I already said. The Universe line. 2007 was bananas. Nothing will ever come close. Transformers was taking over the effing world. It was nuts.
Megatron
Mikey,
must be stopped.
Proto, when can we finally get a Negatron from Family Guy? Probably will never happen because he still has to turn into a gun. That's why. Nice colors though. Um, Michael Koo and the partridge in a pear tree. Thank you, Michael, for that. Joseph Ritter with the super chat. Hey, Proto, what is the history of the Buster Sword in Japanese culture, and what is its history with Transformers? Well, if you're referring to that pose, wish I had a big sword with me. Wizards of the Coast, that pose. That's the Obari pose. That started with Brave X Kaiser, which is technically a cousin of Transformers. The Buster Sword, to my knowledge, the first time that it really showed up, I don't know which came first, Final Fantasy VII or Berserk. Someone has to tell me that, because whichever one had it first is whoever had. I mean, a big sword. Look, the Bigoron sword existed in Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda. That's a big Buster Sword. But Berserk had a huge one, Giggity, with his big Buster Sword, Guts. So it's somewhere it starts there. But in Transformers, that legendary pose, that's from Brave X Kaiser. You're talking like 1992, 1990, which predates all those things I just said. So that's an Obari thing. Matsumi Obari, who you should follow on Twitter, the godfather of Mecha, absolutely super talented. One of the guys behind Studio Ox, the guy who did all the Fatal Fury movies. He did all the designs for that. Does a little bit of hentai stuff too, but he's a man of culture. That's all I'm going to say there. Um, so it's somewhere in there. I would have to say, like Star Saber has a big sword, but he never did that. Never did that badass pose. I mean, that pose goes all the way to Transformers Galaxy Force, Cybertron. That's how long that history is. And then it was in Gridman. They did it in the Gridman anime recently. Goes all over the place. That's a whole history, my friend. And that's what's going off at the top of this head right now. I must be forgetting something, you know? Uh, Berserk. Well, what year was Berserk specifically? When did it first start? I need to know like the exact year. Because I started Berserk with the anime, and then I went back to read the manga because the anime obviously fell off back in the 90s. Media Max says stoked for V Saber. Don't think it would have sold. Don't think it would have sold well in retail. I'm fine with the price. The other commanders are iconic and memorable for the show. With Leo seems to be better leader value than Optimus. We will see when we get it in hand. We will see. We will see. We will see. It's hard to say because, if they were willing to do stuff like Overload, if they were willing to do stuff I mean, the fact that we have Galaxy Shuttle is amazing. That's an amazing one to me. Oh, a lot of super chats today. Princeton Phalanx 59 with the $2 super chat. Proto, you have too much knowledge on that melon. Let me tell you guys, okay, if you could have known me in high school, man, like I was living a double life. I sometimes sit back and go, it's absolutely nuts because I had the internet between 95 and 2000. Like I was lucky to get it when it first came out, the internet. And that was my high school years. I got the internet in 95. I started grade 7 high school in 95 to 2000. Here in Quebec, high school is only 5 years. And I would go to school, hit on the girls, play basketball, do sports, all of that stuff. And then on Fridays, I'd go to my local anime store. Shout out to Sci-Fi Anime and Lou and the crew. Love you guys to death. I still talk to them to this very day. And I'd live that life on Fridays. And then I'd come home and, look, when you're a teenager, your social life is in high school. Yeah, you do stuff on the weekend, but weekdays, a school night, everyone just went home and watched TV. But this guy, he had the internet in 1995. So I was just reading. I was reading like something like a week. Obviously, Wikipedia didn't exist in 1995, but I was reading the internet, and I'll never forget. I turned to my mom back in 95 and I said to her, I don't think I'm ever going to be bored ever again. And I was right. I was never bored ever again. There was just too much cool stuff on the internet to learn about. And if ever I ran out of something, I read everything on the internet that could exist in 1995 and 96 of Transformers. Every post, every message board, which, today is impossible, but back then was a thing. Let's read up Mega Man. Let's read up anime. Let's read up this Ultraman. No, let's read up on Marvel superheroes. Oh, let's read up on Mario. Let's read up on like that. There was so much to read, and I just absorbed all of it, all of that information. And when you live it, I always say muscle memory is easier when experienced than when read. Meaning, like, you could learn a language easier if you live it rather than going to a classroom. So having all that muscle memory, is it's crazy, but it's very useful when it comes to doing business because I've lived a lot of that stuff and I know a lot of that stuff. Anyone that ever says like, "Oh, Proto Man's a fraud," he doesn't know what he's talking about. When he does the podcast, he reads off of the Wikipedia. Yeah, okay, all right, buddy. You have no idea. You have no idea the madness of this mind. You have no idea. We have a gold super chat from Lucas Borgak. Hey, Proto Man, love the podcast. I found Legacy Cosmos last night. Congratulations is an order of that. Not bragging. I need to share the hype with someone. Do you have a retail find standout in your memory? Best retail find I ever had. What would be the best one? Something that I was hunting for a while. And then when I finally had it, what would that be? You know what? Probably the most excited I ever was to find a retail product, maybe when Energon Rodimus came out, because it'd been a while since we got like a new Hot Rod Rodimus figure. And then when that finally came out, I was like, oh my God, finally got Energon Rodimus. That one I was really hyped. Classics Rodimus, but that, like, when I saw it, I was like, nice, got all of those. What was a really good retail find? I'm trying to think. The hunt has never been bad for me. It's never been bad because I'm very patient too. I've been very, very patient. Like, I'm always one of these people that if I can't find something, I'll wait. I don't have a Cosmos yet, but I'll get one. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried. You know, I put a pre-order with Walmart. It's in limbo right now. A lot of people are having this problem, but we'll see what happens. And the reason why I'm not worried, because every time there's been a situation where people are freaking out over a retail figure, you know what happens? That figure ends up going down in value because something new comes around, nobody cares. And then if you went back to that guy who was freaking out trying to get that figure, he's like, no, I don't want it anymore. I'm going to get that new one. And Cosmos is going to be one of those. And I'm not like, I need to get a Cosmos. Like, I have the Legends ones. I have the core class-esque ones that they did in the 2-packs. I have the repaints. I think the only Cosmos figure that I'm missing outside of that one, I never got the Creo because that was in a multi-pack. I would have liked that one, the class of '85. But I'm not too worried about it. I'll get it. I'll get it at some point. It'll either be the second release or I'll find it. The second release will come out. The first release will dip in value, and then I'll get the first release cheap at a TFcon loose complete from some guy that's like, give me $20. I know it. I've seen it time and time again. Time and time again. Talk to the guy that, bought like a full price ultra class, power glide, and then turned around and then bought the Legends one, and then turned around and bought this one, and turned around and bought that one. The constant, like, getting a version thinking it's going to be the best one, you know? I ain't too worried about it. I think I'll get it sooner or later. But congratulations to you for finding one, because you didn't have to pay the scalpers. Mikey says this is exactly what I like when I ask my husband about anything. Too much knowledge in his brain. He keeps going and going like the Easter Bunny, like the pink Easter Bunny. Not Easter Bunny, Energizer Bunny. Orlando Chavez with the $2 super chat. When will we be getting a Devil Z toy? Devil Z would be cool. Devil Z was something they could have done with the fossilizers when you think about it. You take like 3 skeleton kind of things and you could have put it together to make it look like Devil Z. That would have been cool. Paleotrex, get the horns. Like, if you've ever seen Devil Z's like final form which is like he has all the Destron sparks, and he's like Final Devil Z. They could have done something. They could have done something. Maybe I just gave them an idea. Uh, we have 15 minutes left, so get your super chats in. We got 15 minutes. Did I forget to do anything else? I'm just trying to remember before. Oh yeah, let me just before I get into the others here. So this is going to be showing up in your Costco's soon. So the holiday item, the holiday palette item for for Transformers is going to be Rescue Bots Academy, some kind of I don't know what you want to call it. Let me just get the other photo here. The little like they're almost like little remote control robot stuff. So that's going to be the palette item at Costco for the holiday season. So keep that in mind. Uh, Princeton Phalanx 59. My high school days were BI before internet. I was busy chasing girls. I think we all were. The hormones were pumping and dumping. Uh, Michael Koo, my most exciting retail find, The Last War for Cybertron, Earthrise Skylinks, which is a fantastic figure from what people told me. Target shelf, Saturday. Uh, what if Hasbro brings back Transtech from AI Dragon? I think Transtech had its chance with the club, and they did nothing with it really. I'm not a big fan of Transtech being the hub universe. I get what they're trying to do, and I respect what Jesse and the crew are writing, but I like the idea of Transtech being a sequel Beast Machine series and the what could have been more so. Orlando Chavez gave me an idea on how to make a custom Devil Z. Well, there you go. Use some fossilizers. Michael Koo, what did Hasbro try to achieve with G2 Manta Ray? If you're referring to the weird hovercraft speedboat from the G2 Rotor Force, if that's what you're referring to, I'll tell you what they achieved. They achieved a trademark called Manta Ray that they then used for Beast Wars as McDonald's toy, and then never again. Maybe we'll get another Manta Ray. Yeah, take if someone heavily retools. Look, if we get a new, if we get a new, what do you call it? Sea spray, and then you could retool it into Manta Ray. Maybe we'll get something there. Maybe we'll get something there. Be pretty crazy. I don't know if I have the rotor gimmick. We already got what's his name? The other rotor that was part of the Wreckers. Leadfoot. We got Leadfoot, so we'll get Manta Ray to join him. And what was the other one? Power Drive. Well, actually, they did a modern version of Power Dive. They did it with the uh, with the GDO line back in the day. So that was like 2013. We're slowly getting all the Rotor Force now that you think about it. Huh. The Rotor Force is coming back. Who would have thought? They just don't have the rotors. Someone's going to have to 3D print those or something. Yeah. Might as well show you guys what I have on my desk. So this was the photos that I took today that I posted on Twitter too, because I'm working on the Aaron Archer Toy Armada episode, and I had to take a whole bunch of photos. We were talking about why does Mister over here not have the Matrix and he does? And for people with sharp eyes, this is the Japanese version, which has the yellow instead of gold plastic. Actually, if you look at there you go. You can see, you can barely see the ears too are yellow instead of gold for the super mode. This is Micron Comboy. So that should be the plan is tomorrow you guys will have a brand new episode. Hopefully before the day is over. It's a lot of editing. It's a good hour and a half of Transformer talk. We go really deep into the weeds on toy creation and the different eras of designers. It's pretty good. Roman with the super chat. Do you think we'll ever see a depth charge from the Beast Wars line in Legacy? Depth charge is a trademark that Hasbro once in a while refreshes. They have not refreshed it since. The last time we saw the depth charge trademark was actually used during the fun publication days. They did a movie toy called Depth Charge that was a basic scale or whatever you want to call it, legend scale, and then they kept that trademark alive, and then they used it with the fun publication. They did a Depth Charge repaint figure from Terra Dive, and then that was it. And we never had a depth charge since. The trademark expired, and Hasbro has not done anything with it since then. Prince and Phalanx 59. Since Hasbro did Transmetal Megatron, do you think Transmetal Optimus Prime is next? I'm assuming you mean the Transmetal 2 Dragon Megatron, and I assume you mean the regular Transmetal Optimus Primal. I think they're going to do more Beast Wars characters, and at some point they're going to get to the Transmetals, but I think maybe, I don't know, I think they're going to do them in the reissue line. I'm not sure. That one I'm not sure. Like, part of me wants to think the guys like Mark and Evan would want to make brand new ones, but how do you improve on the original Beast Wars Transmetal Optimus? It's pretty perfect already, you know? Like, I don't want to end up in a situation where it's actually worse than the original because of the limitations of plastic, costs today. So, like, I would really like it if I don't know. I think it would be more beneficial for them to reissue it, but then is it going to have chrome? They probably won't put chrome on it. I always look over it because I look over at all those Armada molds in Armada, excuse me, all those Beast Wars molds in Armada that the chrome was taken out because of health reasons, which is true for the factory workers. Mikey wants to know, Proto, what is for dinner? So, I had a big lunch at Costco, and that kind of tided me over. But I did not plan at all what I wanted to do for dinner. I'm thinking, I'm thinking of going out and maybe getting Chinese. I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking about it because I've been having a craving for it for a while. So I'm thinking about it, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll make something at home. Maybe Japanese curry. I was thinking about doing that too. I have a whole bunch of potatoes that I bought that I haven't used. So Japanese curry cubes, potatoes, some meat cubes of beef, cut some carrots, feeds you for 5 days. You obviously make rice on the side with your rice cooker. That's your Proto Man chef's tip. 5 days of food easily, and it's good. Little high in sodium, but it's absolutely delicious. Horned Owl, hello all. Just getting home from TFcon, going back tomorrow. Awesome con so far. Well, glad you're enjoying it, my friend. I wish I was there with you. I wish I was there. The airplanes were not in my favor for that kind of thing. Maybe in 5 months for LA. Tom Laney, late daughter. Everyone's coming in late. Late Tom Laney, daughter had a high school band concert. That's more important, Tom. It's better to go support your daughter. We'll rewatch tomorrow. Just wanted to say thanks, Proto. Tom, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for supporting your daughter, which is way more important than supporting me. AI Dragon Legend, who would win in a speed race, hot rod or override? Override technically is the better racer overall. Hot rod's never really been associated with being a racer. I would say something like who would win, override or blur, you know? Like if you're talking like IDW blur against Nitro Convoy, that's the race I want to see. Not gag dub override. Horndell, I bought Aaron Archer's book and asked him to draw Beast Wars Prowl and Owl Mode inside the cover. Really awesome to finally meet Archer himself. That is awesome, brother. That is awesome. That is very awesome. We have 5 minutes left. Oh my goodness. How much time do we have left? Let me check here. 5 minutes left. And it says my battery is dying also on my device here. 1 second, guys. Just want to make sure so we don't automatically get cut off here. There we go. Let's see. Make kimchi. You know what? It, you know what, Princeton? I'm not a big fan of kimchi. I've tried it many times. I like bibimbap. I like bulgogi. I like this is all South Korean stuff. I like what's the one with the glass noodles and the beef in it? That one's really good too. I love their Korean fried chicken's amazing. Korean barbecue is always incredible. Not a big kimchi guy. Not a big kimchi guy. Because to me, it's like it's cabbage and sodium. And cabbage and lettuce are the biggest lies ever of the vegetable world. They're just water vegetables. They're just there to fill you. They give you no nutrients. And if it's just cabbage and sodium, it's like as if you took like leaves of cabbage or lettuce and just put salt on it and ate it like that. So I'm not big on it. It doesn't taste that great either. So if it's going to be unhealthy, it better also taste awesome, in my opinion. But hey, if you love it, hey, more power to you. More power to you, brother. Michael Koo, Ron Freeman is a unique person. Oh, yes, he is. Yes, he is. His head is in a different place from everyone else. Look, I love Ron. I was on the phone with Ron for a couple hours back in the day. He's a very unique individual. A very unique individual. Um, Very interesting guy. But Ron doesn't remember anything. So any of that Transformer movie script stuff that you're seeing online, take it all with a grain of salt, because Ron doesn't remember. Someone's feeding him stuff. Let's put it that way. Horned Owl, hello, Aaron. Thanks for the awesome owl drawing today. Aaron's here. Ah, Aaron's here. Didn't even see Aaron's here. Hello from TFcon Robot People. Aaron, what are you doing? You just chilling in your room or something? Aaron's here too. Jeez, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Like even when I was at TFCon, I didn't bother like doing anything. Guys, go have fun, man. Unless like is the bars closed or something? Is the hotel rooms closed? Don't be here looking at this dumb face. Go have fun. Go talk with people. Jeez, why is everyone coming? Like, okay, I understand if you went home after the show, you live locally. I get it. But if you're at the con, go get out of your hotel room. Go down there and mix it up, yo. Go down there and mix it up. Go have a good time. And I heard that you drew some good stuff, Aaron. I heard that you do some good stuff, and your panel was good too. You don't need me anymore. How about that? You don't need me to just stand there looking like your bouncer. Hey, quit playing with that toy. It's too loud. I don't even know if that comes through with the pop filter. Hard to tell. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Everyone's praise Lord to Aaron. Oh, that Christina's here too. Korean fried chicken is perfection. Damn right it is. It's good stuff. They my old neighborhood that I grew up in is a black neighborhood. They opened up a Korean fried chicken place, and now it has a line out the door every day. Shout out to what's it called? Lovejoy, whatever it's called, Lovejoy Chicken or something. It's owned by a Filipino woman, but it's Korean barbecue and Korean fried chicken. She is making mad money. She's destroying KFC. Shout out to her. Montreal, what 514 fried chicken. Princeton Phalanx 59, do you eat sushi? I love sushi to death, and I have one of the things that I miss more than anything else because of COVID is sushi and sushi buffet specifically. I can't go to pay by the piece sushi. I eat way too much, so it's going to cost me a lot. But if I could go to like a sushi buffet and it's like $25 a person, I'm willing to pay that because I'm going to go crazy. Dragon Eye, uh, California roll. What's another good one? Spicy roll. Uh, the eggplant one I'm really started getting into now. I really like the new eggplant one that they made. There's the Kanda special that I have, which is like they deep fry it twice, which is amazing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. We're done for the day, but I'll answer the rest of your questions and then we will call it a night. We always talk about food at the end, We always get hungry. Michael Koo says, Korean mom. Michael, you're very lucky. um, Aaron says, I'm resting before going out. Need to rest the eyes. Yeah, I don't blame you, Aaron. I'd sometimes, I would do stuff and then I'd go hide for a bit. Mikey, why doesn't Aaron draw good stuff, eh? Mikey, what are you saying? Eyes on the Ace just wanted to say thank you for what you do, Proto. Thank you, Eyes on the Ace. Thank you. Chinese food for the win from AI. Mikey says, when we finally go to TFcon, hitting the bars after is a must. Hey, man. Bret Hart said it the best. Business gets done at the bar. Never forget that. And the last one we're going to do is Michael Koo. Proto, thanks for another great live stream. Thank you, Michael Koo. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, despite the fact that it's TFCon. And we got, okay, I'll do the $20 super chat. We got a gold super chat from Jason. I can't ignore it because Jason paid a good 20 bones. Thank you, Jason. Jason says, you talk about new ideas for TFs. I would love to see a story where Optimus Prime fails and Megatron has to lead the Autobots and the Decepticons. Well, that would imply some kind of global domination of all of the galaxy. Both factions have to get along as they help defend the Earth from the Vok. Well, that's one way to look at it, or defend Cybertron from the Vok. That story kind of happened in the Legends comics. Sakamoto-san did a Legends story. It's online and it's translated in English, where the Vok comes from Battlestars and Megatron and Optimus from the Legends universe had to fight him. It's out there. I wish I could direct link you, but it's out there. Look up Hayato Sakamoto on the TF Wiki, and then all his stuff is there. And just look for the latest stuff that he did with the Vok and Dark Nova. Dark Nova was the Vok leader and all that stuff. Great stuff. Check it all out, brother. Hope that helps you out and you can enjoy some of your story, because Megatron and Optimus get together. They fight the Vok. It leads to the Cybertronian Alliance that connects to G2 with the capes and everything. People who know what I'm talking about know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it for you, Jason. JR Mina says, thank you for another great live stream. Mikey says, sounds interesting. I'll watch that show. I'm out of here, guys. Take care of yourself. Once again, if you want to support the podcast, help support us and let us know we're doing a half-decent job here in the Transformer world, keeping you entertained and informed with this brain, spewing it out, typing it out, editing, putting it on the internet 5 days a week, sometimes Saturdays with the live streams. Patreon.com/Protoman. The link is down there below. If you also want to support the podcast, click on that and the link. Click on that Symbiote Studios link. Check out their stuff. It always supports the podcast. If you go, check it out, support them. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. If you're at TFCon and you haven't gone to Aaron Archer's table, swing by his table and buy his art book. Get some stuff and signed. And hell, tell him to draw Proto Man's face for you. And he could draw some terrible looking face. Yeah. Take care of yourself. I'm out of here. I'm going to go eat some food, play some video games. That Switch is calling me. What's that? Guardian Tales you want to play? I think I'm going to play some Guardian Tales. Take care of yourselves. I love you all, and good night.